Tom Kelly Show, episode 368, take 2. Where in the world is Kate Middleton? Plus, Tom gets a new neighbor. Also, it's been 4 years since the pandemic, but that was kind of a depressing topic on show 1, so why the hell would we do that on show 2? And this time, working sound. Am I right, Steve?
I hope so.
Then there you go. Get the microphone a little closer to your mouth and let's start the show.
The Tom Kelly Show. Everybody, I want you to go to the Tom Kelly Show. I want you all to know about the Tom Kelly Show.
And here we go. Content warning, spoiler alert. Much like a deflated balloon. Oh my God. You know what? Just a unfiltered episode of the Tom Kelly Show coming. Were we having a good time?
We were.
Okay.
Some of my best work.
Was it your best work?
It was my best work.
So I'm here with Steve Berger, whose actual best work is not his 30 plus years working as a pioneer in the graphics artist business. It's not his 2 children, who are actually great. His best work is his appearance here on the Tom Kelly Show podcast, which has many, many thousands of views on YouTube, where we both explored the Sunrise Ghost Mall in Massapequa. Oh, and who am I? I'm Tom Kelly. I'm a stand-up comedian who is getting his life back together and is getting back to the fun. Actually, I wrote up my bio. Did I tell you? Did I send you my EPK?
No.
I don't know if I have time to go digging all the way for it. Do you know what an EPK is? Explain to them what an EPK is while I find it quick.
It's an electronic press kit.
Okay.
And that's about all I know about it.
Okay, and that's really all you need to know about it. It's kind of like my website in many ways, except that you can send it as a PDF file. And my gimmick was I had gone to a comedy consultant who made this big deal about, Tom, you need to dress younger. And comedians nowadays, instead of just sending a resume, instead of just sending an email with 2 or 3 links, they send an electronic press kit, which has a few pictures of you. And then it has a little bio on you. And let me see if I can find this quick. Tom Kelly is a comedian of a certain age, getting back to the fun. And I feel like that's what this podcast needs, is like, I need a snazzy intro that gets new people in. It's a podcast that refuses to niche down, refuses to talk about a single topic, but I have learned a couple of things. That one, even my existing fans will come back for an episode if I talk about something newsy that's light but in the zeitgeist. Taylor Swift did well. The Taylor Swift episode did well. And then me talking about Kelly Rowland trashing her dressing room did well. And then bigger one right here. Here we go. Kate Middleton is missing.
Where is she?
Well, you're taking the producer role of this. Shouldn't you know?
Well, I looked it up.
Okay, well, she's missing, and there's conspiracy theories. We're afraid. We've gone 6 weeks without her. Is it 6 weeks?
You got me?
Good God.
That's how much research I've done.
It's really hard to believe that I made you just come on the Long Island Railroad just to be my friend. You're not a producer. You're just a friend.
Well, I do have some information.
Okay, please.
But the Royals aren't putting much information out. So she had abdominal surgery.
Okay.
It was not cancerous.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay, and that's a big deal. And they announced it about the same time as when Prince Charles said he was having his colonoscopy. And then tragically, though, a week after that announcement, Prince Charles was told he had cancer, and he's managing his cancer, and it seems like he's doing well. Not even Prince Charles, King Charles.
King Charles.
Do you see, is that fair? Can't we just call him Prince Charles?
We should. Because King Charles is just...
It just seems like, dude, you don't deserve it. I mean, like, we talked about this on the first episode of the show, which Steve refused to record the sound on.
His whole life, his whole career was just waiting for his mom to die. Which is sad.
Now, they should put that in his EPK.
They should.
By the way, Tom...
And how funny, well, funny, weird, not funny, haha, if he died now. He got 3 months of being king?
See, that part I don't mind. He got a taste. He got and actually that's one of the fears is, what if he's so sick that he, like there are old-fashioned, like you can talk about royal conspiracy theories. There are old-fashioned British conspiracy theory people who think the Queen decided to live just to spite him so he would not get the throne because he divorced Diana.
Which was selfish of her.
I don't know, man. I think at a certain point, listen, you make me king, I'm not leaving. You put me in charge, folks, I don't care how much I love the people behind me.
That's because you don't have children. If you had children, you'd want the best for them and their success, which clearly she didn't.
See, but that's also a sign you're not that accomplished. I think when you actually achieve something in your life, you don't want to let go.
So you'd rather have your son just waiting for you to die.
You know what? Right now,
give him the job.
I have had the thrill when I was up in my career. And this is sad that this was up compared to where I'm at now. But I know for sure when I was doing warm up at the View, there'd be a few people who would call me and ask if they could do substitute work. And listen, my feeling was if you stepped in a pile of poop, like a regular TV show, you had a responsibility to not take off, especially when you were working an hour a day. You just had to be there for the hour. Just show up, do your hour, go home. But there was at least 3 to 5 people who would call to just check on my health to the point where I stopped taking their calls because I felt like they were wishing germs upon me.
So they were waiting for you to die.
They were waiting for me to die. And it felt good. Actually, no, it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good. What about you? Like, you're a freelancer, but like,
No one's waiting for me to die.
No one's waiting for you to die.
I hope not.
Like, I always joke that I'm very well insured, and I am. I am worth $500,000 if I die and $1 million if I die in an accident. I think the numbers have dropped. I think I opted for the lower policy last year. But so my joke with my brother is, if I die, take my dead body, throw it down the stairs, make it look like an accident, boom, you're a millionaire. Now, by the way, is it weird for me to look at the camera for the punchlines? That's one of the notes the comedy consultant gave me. Did I mention a comedy consultant on this show?
Did they say you should look at the camera or not?
She said I shouldn't look at those camera for the punchlines. And now I'm just, for those of you listening to the audio version, that was just me staring at the camera for a second.
So why do you have life insurance?
Very real. You used to listen to this show again, right? My old podcast years ago. One of our hosts on that show died. He was kind of like, I guess, living the life I am. He lived upstairs from his mom, my friend John. And his mom wasn't rich, for the sake of the story. We used to make fun of John for living at home. And in reality, I think John was helping his mom stay afloat financially. And when he kicked the bucket, he gave her a lot of money, and she's still able to stay in her house. And, he achieved something. He took care of his mom. So my feeling is, if I kick the bucket, my brother can use the money to take care of my mom.
Great.
Yeah. And nobody's pissed me off enough. And you're right now, but now you get to that interesting point of, geez, if I died now, if I like you heard of sugar daddies, could I be a sugar dead daddy?
You're like a sugar brother?
I'm a sugar brother? I don't know. That's kind of gross. So where in the world is Kate Middleton? So here's the thing with Kate Middleton now. Kate Middleton got sick, had the abdominal surgery, and then there was no real news reported about what happened to her.
Maybe they took her out for the insurance. Add that to the list.
So there's conspiracy theories floating around the internet for what happened to Kate Middleton.
So what happened to Kate Middleton?
Okay. Kate Middleton, conspiracy theory number 1. Again, these are actual published conspiracy theories, but they have been published as conspiracy theories.
Published where?
I wrote down the Independent published some of these. That's a big one.
That's a big one.
You watch Ted Lasso?
Yes.
What is it? Trent Lott?
Yes.
Trent Grimm? Trent Grimm.
You had it.
I had it. God damn it. Long way to go. So Trent Grimm, Independent. So yeah, that paper. If it's on Ted Lasso, it's real. So anyway, actual conspiracy theories, but not actual facts about where is Kate Middleton. Conspiracy theory number 1, that Kate Middleton is Banksy. There has been no Banksy art released since Kate Middleton had her abdominal surgery 8 weeks ago.
Sounds about right. I buy that one. I believe that.
Kate Middleton, conspiracy theory number 2, that she is actually secretly undercover in the United States trying to fix her relationship with Meghan Markle.
So you have to disappear for that.
It sounds like it's that strained that, like I've thought about that. Like if there's a few people who I've gotten into fights with who I know will never speak to me again. And I've often wondered if I faked my own death, would they feel bad and want to forgive me? And then I'd be like, hey, here I am. Hey, remember those 6 weeks?
And then they're happy to see you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think she's not faking her death because we haven't had the fake royal funeral. Okay. Conspiracy theory number 3. This is my favorite one, and it's the biggest stretch of all. A bigger stretch than Kate Middleton is Banksy. Yes. That Kate Middleton has been secretly arrested for a crime, and she has been tried secretly and is now under house arrest, serving out some form of term.
So what was the crime?
Not making things better with Meghan Markle?
I don't think that's a crime.
I support that.
What could the crime be?
I don't know, a crime of fashion. Have you seen that hat? I don't know. Like, the thing is, she's kind of perfect. I kind of like her. I worked with her for a day, and this is where I think I'm doomed. I'll tell. So, fourth conspiracy theory, and then I'll tell you my Kate Middleton story. And I think this is the closest one. That Kate Middleton had abdominal surgery. She's gassy and wants to be left alone. And that happens when you have abdominal surgery.
For 3 months?
I think, you know what, man? It hurts your stomach.
Farting for 3 months?
Yes. I mean, not like one continuous fart.
Like
I don't
Harry
think.
Potter farting movie?
Dude,
they're riding her around?
Dude, this is where I'm a pansy. I mean, I had strep throat last week. Probably should have told you that before I invited you over.
Thank you.
Okay. And I am on antibiotics, and I'm farting all over the place. I have a zit, and I've been tired and cranky and have not really left the apartment for a week.
And yet you're not hiding out. You're doing a podcast. Because
that's how needy I am. I mean, listen, if I had a wait staff, you're right. I wouldn't be inviting you over. If I had servants, that's what this show is missing. Servants for 2024. Okay. But anyway, I think that's what it is. I think she just doesn't want to be bothered. That's my feeling. All right. So I know we talked about this on the last show, but I want to rehash this a minute. The neighbor drama of the building.
Right.
So
that's where we were at when you realized my microphone wasn't on.
And I'll be honest with you, the show might have been a little better. That's just me. See, that's not what I do. I don't do mean jokes like that. But that would have been a good mean joke.
Told you it was my best work. You think I'm joking? Doesn't get any better than that. It's all downhill.
Okay, so hang on. I want to jam in 2 more topics now. Okay, maybe 3. Topic 2.
The neighbor you're stalking already.
Okay, I'm not stalking. So I'm stalking the building. There's been drama in the building. The drama in the building has been, there's one unit that was put on Airbnb. The landlord is renting it to a friend, and it's a hotel now. Every 3 month stays that people have been staying there. And I've had no problem with it. I want to the people who have been there have been pleasant. There was one nice older guy from the neighborhood who was actually a pretty chatty. And then there might have been a couple of other annoying people who were closer to that unit. Fair?
Fair.
Okay. Now, I don't know who complained about what, who didn't complain about what. But I looked at how much this guy was charging for the Airbnb. And I know I wasn't the only person in the building who said, geez, why isn't he charging blank $100 a night for everybody's apartment? And then for the unit above me, there was a very nice couple. And for whatever reason, they did not get their lease renewed. Could they have been not paying the rent and me not knowing it? I don't know. Could they have pissed off the landlord somehow and I don't know about it? I don't know.
Could they have been farting for 3 months?
No, because I would have heard that. Okay. The 3
Could they be Banksy?
Could they? Okay, so I'm still working at like 80%. I don't think I've laughed like that in a week. Yeah, my neighbor was Banksy. So anyway, big ending is there's mail, and I started rifling through the packages to sort them out, and I saw the package for 3C, and it's a woman's name, and she is setting up her own cable and internet, which makes me think it's not an Airbnb unit. Okay.
I tend to agree.
And now that's also a sign that I've kind of spent a lot of time looking at the package. So I then had you Google the person to see if she was in the real estate business or anything like that. What did your Google findings find? Because my Googles found certain things.
She's more famous than you.
And that's a problem. Well, she's not, but not that much more famous.
I guess it depends on what you consider fame.
Okay.
Were you on 4 TV shows?
Major
network shows?
I worked at. That's a little different. So I guess that brings me back to my bio is how do you spin it? I'll read.
Just steal her bio.
Okay.
Just put her bio as yours and you look good.
Okay. So Tom Kelly is a single man of a certain age with a life and career that's in flux, who is simply just trying to get back to the fun. Tom Kelly is a seasoned host. So there's a lot of Tom Kelly. See, this is where I needed maybe I need to read this one out loud. Tom Kelly is a seasoned host and comic known for his work on high profile TV shows. Recently, he's been reaching new audiences with his podcast, hyper-local video content, which means...
with your News 12? With your hyper-local?
So I'm localer than local news gets. So for those of you who only listen to the podcast, I've been doing Instagram videos about little towns on Long Island, and News 12's slogan is as local as news gets.
And they have the hyper local weather.
Yeah, and now I'm even more hyper local. I'm hyper, like really hyper.
You're micro local.
Like I am on medicated hyper local hyper. Anyway, Tom Kelly. So back to the neighbor because she's more famous than me. Has she kept studiences?
Studiences?
This is why I'm not famous. This is like there's just moment. The nice thing about podcasting is this is God's way of reminding me. Maybe I'm meant to be on the internet for just hyper local. I'm making myself laugh. So what I found out that she was an opera singer, and that alone bothers me because there's a website. There were lessons offered on the website, and I'm thinking, geez, is she going to be teaching classes upstairs? That's my fear. But you're telling me she's been on TV shows.
She's been on TV shows.
What shows?
Let's look it up.
Yeah, pull out the reading glasses. Do what you got to do.
She was on FBI's Most Wanted.
Is that a good show?
Probably one of the top shows on CBS that old people watch.
Okay.
She was on The Deuce on HBO.
The Deuce.
The Deuce.
What is The Deuce?
Which I believe was a show about the porn industry.
Wait, I have a porn star living upstairs?
No, just someone that was on a show about the porn industry. She was on one episode.
Okay.
She was on Gotham.
Gotham, that's the Batman show.
That's the Batman show.
Okay, that was a really good show.
And she was on an Apple TV show called Extrapolations, which
okay,
I
so no one will
watched
see that
episode.
for 10 years.
But she was just concerned woman. So
kind of like I was concerned, man.
I don't think that was a big part.
Oh my God, Tom. So I guess it's a sign I won't get kicked out.
Seems like a good sign.
Yeah, I probably.
But now your first worry was opera lessons upstairs.
Second worry was getting kicked out of the building, and then what I was going to do. But I think it's a little. What I did with every neighbor when they're making noise upstairs, I show up with a bottle of wine and welcome them to the building.
Well, that's where I was going. No chance of a little relationship?
I'm not dating anybody in this building. I'm already worried about getting evicted. Are you kidding me? Lease is up in June. What the hell's the matter with you? And then, no. I looked at the pictures. No. She's my age. Too old.
I was going to say, she's
too old for me.
She's too old.
She's my age.
Yes.
No. I don't even want to get it. I don't even want to make it that. I'm just glad it's an actual person living there and staying there, and that it's not going to be a hotel. Like I've had nightmares for about 8 weeks. So this was what do you remember when I did the Debbie Gibson thing?
Yes.
Okay. So while I'm at the Debbie Gibson thing, I got a text from the old tenant upstairs saying, "Hey, are you getting kicked out of the building too?" Now imagine me rocking out.
No, I can't imagine that.
Imagine me alone at a Debbie Gibson concert, rocking out to Debbie Gibson's holiday classics while they're in a red velvet blazer wondering if I will seduce Debbie Gibson. And then getting a text, "Tom, are you getting kicked out of the building too?" And that's been in my stomach for the last 2 months, 3 months. So I'm glad to have that off my chest. That's the good news. But that's it. But I am afraid of the opera lessons. But that's
I think
it.
you're good.
I'm good.
I think you're safe.
Tom Kelly is a second generation, Brooklyn-born and Long Island-raised Irish-Italian-American who has turned his charming awkwardness and inability to find love into a career. I like that sentence. His observations about the culture of and stories about growing up in Massapequa, Long Island have gone viral. His commentary on relationship trap questions has 10 million views on TikTok. Clips from the Tom Kelly Show podcast have broken the 2 million view mark on Facebook.
Woohoo.
Not on my account. And technically, all I did was go, oh, really? Ah. Now she's thinking I'm teaching opera lessons.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah. Anyway, that the moral of the story is, I'm glad you came into town. If I'm putting a button on the show, I was going to do I thought this was the 4-year anniversary of the pandemic today. Turns out it's not till next week. So I may fall into this depression next week. But I was going through this whole big thing over the last couple of days of trying to create this EPK in a format that I could send out and still have links and make it pretty, blah, 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 make it match my website, blah, blah, blah. And speeding through the story, I was going through this whole thing of, like, they always ask you, is your life better than it was 4 years ago? I think that was a big Jimmy Carter. That was Ronald Reagan said that to Jimmy Carter in the election. And I'm like, geez, have I turned a pandemic into something good? And I'm like, all I really have is one viral TikTok and 15,000 people who may or may not be pissed off I'm making fun of Long Island. Like, that's my growth. So I don't know. I'm glad you came here because I do think this podcast is leading to something good. You have been an incredible consultant on little jokes. Tell them what I do before I post a TikTok or Instagram.
Send me the video.
And then what do you do?
I comment.
Okay.
And most of the time you don't follow what I say.
Because I've already recorded them. I'll send you a TikTok that I'll have recorded, on the show. And you'll say, Tom, you should have said.
No, I usually tell you what to cut.
I do cut things.
You do sometimes.
A lot of times.
Yeah,
you and Jack Squiccerini are the TikTok consultants. Okay. And my friends Brian and Dan are the podcast consultants. And then as I drink out of my Secret Service glass, my friend Jamie is our Secret Service consultant. That he gave me that. This is also my way. I like to say people's names at the end of the show to see if they're listening. And the last one. Oh, geez. This will be the final. Let's see. Instagram. Let's see if she replied. She did not. So we're going to do a commercial. That is not a commercial. Let's see if I get this right. Do you like animals, Steve?
I love animals.
Okay. I don't particularly care for them, but I don't want to see them tortured. So my friend, I don't even know her first name, but you can adopt a pet from the town of Hempstead, animal something with an S. Oh, animal shelter. Animal shelter.
Yeah, you couldn't figure that one out with just the S? The animal shelter?
I'll tell you, if it ended with an F, I'd be telling you something with an F right now. That would be an F joke. Yeah, anyway, I don't know who this is, but the person wrote me a note asking me to promote the town of Hempstead Animal Shelter. And she told me, by the way,
don't shop.
What's that?
Adopt, don't shop.
Yes. So I wanted to call her on the show and just ask her questions about the town of Hempstead Animal Shelter. And one of them would have been, are you a kill shelter? And then she would have said,
yes.
No, say no.
No.
Are you? And then I said, too bad I only support kill shelters. Was going to be my joke.
And I ruined it.
That's all right. It's all right. I didn't give you any direction. This is all, we're live to tape.
I'm just assuming the town of Hempstead is a kill shelter.
It has to be, right?
It has to be, right?
She told me no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she told me no, which just says something. I don't know.
Also assuming there'll be a lot of pit bulls there.
Let's not go down that road.
Okay.
All right. Good night. But there you go. But if you're looking for a pit bull, you realize we probably have just started this uprising against the town of Hempstead Animal Shelter. Maybe they kill, maybe they don't, but they're doing their best, okay? And listen, if you like a dog, presumably a pit bull. You live in the town of Hempstead, right?
I think so. The township of Hempstead. but I'm also in an incorporated town, so I don't know.
Okay. Are you looking for a pit bull? Steve has found the best possible place to find it. And then listen, if you're watching on YouTube, we tried this 2-camera way of shooting that I don't know if it's going to last. Let me know what you think of that. And then most importantly, folks, thank you for taking this a ride, because it's not a big success, but this show is a success that we've had over the last 4 years. And so is this community. If you want to join the Secret Tom Kelly Show Facebook group, go find it. We're letting anybody in, even people who are looking for a different Tom Kelly. How about that for exclusivity? Good night, Hempstead.
Adopt, don't shop.
Ruff, ruff, ruff.